Hi, I'm Dr. Khurrum Shaukat Yusafzai. Today's video is about the ghost airports of Pakistan. Yes, so let me show you where the ghost airports are in Pakistan. Here is the list of the airports in Pakistan. They are divided in the four provinces. So, primary international airports are only found in Punjab. There are two and one in Sindh. The province of Sindh and Pakhtunkhwa does not have a primary international airports. Only secondary international airports are there, which are not connected with most of the world. And there are domestic airports which connect to the primary hubs. As you can see, there are airports that are divided in the four provinces along with Gilgit and Kashmir. So the ghost airports are among these airports, and I will tell you where these ghost airports are because ghost airport means that there are no flights operating commercial in these ghost airports. You guessed it right. It is in the province of Pakhtunkhwa. So in Pakhtunkhwa, there is only one for the whole province, which is Bacha Khan International Airport with 2743 meters runway, and all the domestic airports are non-operative. So the shortest runway is in Mansehra, 1088 meters, and then followed by Padachinar with around 1200 meters, and Deir Esmerhal 1500. The other runways are around 1500 meters. Peshawar Airport has 2743 meters runway and 777 and A320s, and sometimes a bigger Airbus like 330 or 340 has come here. The Ahmedabad airport was built in 2014, but it was abandoned because the Punjabi establishment running the civil aviation thought the Ahmedabad Hazara people don't need the airport. The Muslim League chief minister's husband is from this place, but they abandoned the Ahmedabad and also the Mansehra airport. They took away their money and they transferred the money to build the Muzaffarabad airport in Kashmir. And you know, the population of Hazara, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, is more than Rahim Yar Khan and DG Khan, where there are international airports. So, similar is the case of Chitral with 1700 meters runway, which is a tourist attraction. And in the 70s, there was an airport and it's closed. They in all over the world, people follow the tourist spots like Chitral and Swat, top 10 in the world. But you know, they are ghost airport because of the racism and attitude of the Punjabi civil service bureaucrats in uniform and out of uniform in the civil aviation. In 1976, there was an airport built when Turbela Dam was made. That is also a ghost airport now. This can easily accommodate an Airbus jet plane. Same is the case with Banu. Banu in 1990 there is an airport, and this airport, as I would show you, is enough to accommodate even A320 Airbus. There are two types of Airbus and three types of Airbus, and a Chinese aircraft can land here, and also the ATR can land here. But you look at the condition of the Banu airport, like the whole province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has around 4 million official population, and After the merger of tribal areas, the population could be 5 crore or 6 crore, like 60 million or 70 million even. But this province is a victim of discrimination, and you can see a beautiful asset like this Banu airport is totally ignored, and it looks like a ghost house. You can see the dilapidated condition, and this airport has staff also who are paid salaries by the civil aviation and the taxpayers' money, but they would deny the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to use this airport, and they would force them to come to Punjab. That is the thing. Like they think the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa people of Banu should go to Dera Ghazi Khan airport or to Islamabad airport or Peshawar airport, and they would spend like 100,000 or 50,000 rupees on the taxi and catch the flight from there, domestic or international. So that is the discrimination with this province, and airport is there and it's not being used. Like, what kind of funny and stupid policies of the civil aviation run by Air Force serving and retired officer mostly, and some Punjabi bureaucrats who are in abundance in the civil aviation, and they have no sympathy or empathy with the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The airport has a tarmac where jet and propeller aircraft can come. They can get parked here. You can see like it can have like 2 3 aircraft capacity, and in the front you can see the bitumen runway. The runway is able to land propeller driven ATR 42, which is with PIA, or a jet aircraft like a small Airbus like A220 or A318 can easily land on this airport. Also, A320, if it is lightly, it's not on full capacity, because the Airbus A320 with maximum takeoff weight can be requiring like 2000 meter or 2200-meter runway. There is a helipad also. It's been used by the military, I think, for the helipad operations for the VIP, but the general public is denied use of this airport. And to do this, it means that the elected representatives from PTI and the Jamaat Islami and the uh, Fazlur Rahman Diesel's party are not concerned with the welfare of the voters. And if the airport is there, why it has not been operated? It could easily cater to Waziristan people, to Der Ismail Khan people, to Banu people, also to Kohat and Khurrum agency people. Why they are forced to go to Islamabad and hang out there in the airports of Islamabad? Because Peshawar is not allowed and too many connecting flights because it's a secondary international airport, as I told you. You can see the 90s model uh, fire truck or something parked over there, and it hasn't moved since 1990. It looks like that. There is a water tank, and there is no fire brigade and other services. Der Ismail Khan Airport was last used in year 2000. It was made in 1996 with 1500-meter runway. This is a bit short runway because only propeller-driven small aircraft can use it, like ATR 42 or a Twin Otter or a Fokker, but they are gone now. Only couple of ATR 42s left. Similar is the case of Padachanar Airport with 1200-meter runway. This has to be made longer, and it was in 1980s and 90s. It was an international airport connecting to the hub and taking international passengers, and it is downgraded. Nowhere in the world airports are downgraded, but in Pakhtunkhwa it happens. The other province where Pakhtuns live is Balochistan, and there are around the same amount of ghost airports. As you can see, only three international airports are operating. And mind you, Balochistan population is not same. It is less than 15 million, and Pakhtunkhwa is 40 to 50 million. So in this province, there are three international airports. And imagine, Pakhtunkhwa has only one. So this is really funny. And Pakhtunkhwa has beautiful natural beauty, and it was the top 10 tourist spots in the world. And to deny aircrafts to and air connectivity means that it's a pain for the tourist as well as for the local people at the same time. And that is the reason the Pakistan International Airline become bankrupt. Gawadar has two airports, the old Gawadar International and the new Gawadar International. And the new International Gawadar Airport is a ghost airport. This beautiful airport was made with the money from the Chinese, and all the money is wasted, and the local population is not enough, and the airport is too big for them. And there are two airports. Turbat International Airport is also having two runways, better than Peshawar, and they can accommodate big aircrafts like 777 and Airbus A320, the smaller ones. Dalbandin also has a small runway, 1500 meters, maybe good for ATR 42. It's domestic airport, and the population is not that much in this area, so this is a understandably ghost airport. Maybe it has military use or for the minerals or other things. Jiwani at the same time has a 1700 meters runway, good for A318 or A220 Airbus, also good for ATR. So it's a coastal town, Jiwani. Hosdar at the same time has a 1200-meter runway. 1800-meter runway, good for a jet aircraft as well as propeller aircraft. So the ghost airports of Balochistan is understandable, but the ghost airports of Pakhtunkhwa is not understandable because Pakhtunkhwa has a lot of population. They work abroad. They bring foreign currency to Pakistan, and it's a favorite with the tourists. And it has 150 mountains above 7 kilometers, 7,000 meter, which is tourist attraction. And it's mind-boggling. The only reason those airports are ghost is because of discrimination and racism. Otherwise, there is no common sense. There is no logic or logic or brain. Some brainless guy in the civil aviation of Pakistan is doing this to destroy the Pakistan, actually, I think, because he's not thinking about the good of the country. He is against, he's anti Pakistan if he's doing such policies. And these people are in uniform, mind you. They are from the Pakistan Air Force. Ormara Airport is also near the naval port, and it also has a ghost airport. But Zob Airport has a 1800 meters runway, good for jets. And Zob Airport is in the Pashtun area, as you can see, very near to Pakhtunkhwa. Why it's not being opened if the Ismail Khan is closed? Why not open the Zob Airport, make it international airport? Juzek Airport is only for charter only. It's a ghost airport as well. It's for the Sandik and mainly used by the foreigners who use charter aircraft. Then Sui Airport, where there used to be a lot of gas, but it's all finished. Only 10% of the gas is left. 1957, there was a runway, 1800 meter, good for an Airbus jet. Charter aircraft of the Sui company. As you can see, the ghost airports are in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is a province where the population of the people is about 40 million. That's like 4 crore. And after the merger of tribal area, there could be another 10 million people. So it could be 50 million people. For the 50 million people, you can see there is only one airport, which is the Peshawar Bacha Khan International Airport, which is a secondary airport. It's not even part of the hub that is connected to the international world. And the only three hubs in Pakistan is Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi, which two of the hubs are in Punjab and one in Sindh. So the province of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are totally ignored and discriminated by not connecting them to the world. Although the biggest contribution of money, the labor class goes from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and to disconnect it from the hub is discrimination and racism in the country of Pakistan, which is very common because the civil aviation is run by Punjabi bureaucrats, both in uniform and without uniform, mostly coming from Air Force, and they have no love with the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa people, and they are not concerned about the problems being faced by the people of the Pashtuns of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The Pashtuns also live in Balochistan, and as you saw, that Balochistan also has a large number of ghost airports equal to Pakhtunkhwa, but since the population of Balochistan is only less than 15 million, although Pakhtunkhwa is 50 million plus. In Balochistan, there are three international airports operating, and in Pakhtunkhwa only one, and that's the only airport that is operating. So you can understand what kind of foolish policies is being implemented in the civil aviation of Pakistan. And it's unfortunate they're damaging Pakistan, and this is the reason that the PIA got bankrupt, because the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has a lot of natural resources, natural beauty. It was the top 10 global site in the tourism, and people used to come here before the Taliban came into being, and they started terrorism, and the tourists never came, and the infrastructure was never upgraded. The airports were all closed, and since last half a century they're closed. And the airports in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, they're made even before Pakistan was made. Like Peshawar airport is 100, almost 98 to 100 years old. It was made in 1927 by the British. If the British had not made the Peshawar airport, I don't think so Pakistan would have made an airport for the capital of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Peshawar city. Similar is the case with Kohat airport, that is made before the Pakistan was made. Risalpur airport was made before the Pakistan, and also Waziristan airport. So these airports are now with the military, although the Waziristan airport has a 2200 meters runway, which can easily accommodate a Boeing 777 and also A320 Airbus. And similar is the length of Kohat airport, but since they are with the military, and there is Salpur, Kohat, and although Peshawar is also with the Air Force, and the Waziristan is with the military, they're not being used, and they're totally off the radar. So they are in the category of military airports. In the civilian airports, the 8 ghost airports I showed you, if you see to the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, you see that Pakhtunkhwa is only one, and Balochistan has about 2 or 3 international airports operating, although the Balochistan population considerably less, 1/5 of that of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. If you compare that with Sindh and Punjab, like if you compare that with Punjab, not a single ghost airport is there, and almost all the Punjab airports, even if the population of the Punjab airport area, like DG Khan, Rahim Yar Khan, is less than the only one division, Hazara division, because Hazara division has got more population than Rahim Yar Khan and DG Khan or even Multan and some of these areas, but still it doesn't have an airport. Abbottabad doesn't have an airport, and money was allocated and it was cancelled. Imagine that. So there is a special discrimination and special racism towards the Pashtuns, either in Pakhtunkhwa or Balochistan. So I demonstrated this with the stats I've given, and if there is no airports, there is no air connectivity, the business goes down, as that is exactly happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The business is totally destroyed. If you look at Dubai and Qatar and these countries came into being because we destroyed the running tourism, and tourists were all coming to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, but they started going to Dubai and Qatar, and because the Taliban and terrorist activities started here, which stopped the tourists, and then the airports were closed. So even if the airports were open, maybe some people would have come. Still, even Afghanistan has got more tourists than Pakistan has, although there is Taliban there. So if you have airports, if you have running business, then you have good tourism, tourists coming, spending money. The hotel rooms are being taken. The hotel rent for a room in Peshawar is 3,000 rupees, and the same room, if it is in Islamabad or Lahore, is for 30,000 to 50,000 rupees a night. So the thing is that it's the government of Pakistan and the bureaucrats, mostly Punjabis, would never correct that. And even the politicians like PTI is here for 15 years. They will never work for the voters or the Pashtuns. For Balochistan and Pakhtunkhwa, similar is the case with Fazlur Rahman Diesel. He will never work for the Pashtuns and the Jamaat Islami, because they're all Punjab based parties and they have no interest with the rights of the Pashtuns, and Muslim League as well. So these parties would never work for Pashtuns. They would never. I've never heard they have done anything for this. Although the Pashtunkhwa people, like for example, the people of Waziristan, there's North Waziristan, South Waziristan, Khurrum, they can easily utilize the Banu Airport or the Dera Ismail Khan Airport or the Waziristan Airport. It can be easily converted to international airports, and there's so much population around there, but they will be forced to go to Punjab, take a bus or a taxi or a pickup to go to Islamabad to take the international flight. And it's like 4 5 hours distance, hundreds of kilometers of distance, and there is a considerable amount of money involved when you hire these vehicles to reach the airport in Islamabad, because Peshawar is not connected with the hub. Only some Middle East flights are taken. So this is like pure evil and crooked policy, which I don't understand. And that is the reason, because if you plot on the timeline, the when these airports were closed, because Padachinar was airport and PIA used to operate flight, when it closed down in the 90s, the PIA started go down. Similar is the case with Swat, Chitral, because the tourists used to go there. So they closed down these tourist spot airports: Chitral, Swat, Padachinar, also Dera Ismail Khan, also Turbela Airport, because these airports could have easily provided access of the tourists to the places they want to see. And to whenever you ask these bureaucrats or civil servants why there is no airports, I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, also to Prime Minister's cell, to the head of DG Civil Aviation, and you know what he said? He said, we have the motorway. So we have made the waterway, so there is no need of airport and there is no load. How can there be no load when the population is 40 to 50 million? Like, you are forcing them to go to Punjab. Like, you will force the people of Waziristan and the two North and South Waziristan, Khurram, and Dera Ghazi Ismail Khan to go to DG Khan or to some Punjab airport in Multan or somewhere, or to Islamabad to take a flight, and then you say there is no load. Of course, when you don't give the plane, if you don't put, if you close the airport, there will be zero load on the stats. So they have created these fake states to create a justification for these ghost airports. Very shameful for Pakistan and for the Pakistan, and that is the reason that PIA failed. And because the PIA failed, not because of the PIA or the PIA employees, the PIA failed because of these Air Force officers who were running the civil aviation, mostly Punjabi chauvinist guys who actually destroyed the PIA because of their racism and discrimination towards the Pashtuns. And if you open these airports, I'm sure the private airlines will make a lot of money. And if uh, if Punjab can have a airline called Air Sial based on Sialkot, and they can have a private airport, why not the Pashtuns cannot have their own airport? And I would ask the Pashtuns, if they want to have their own airline, and they should stop believing in the government of Pakistan, they should make their own effort. And if they're very good in transport business, they're very good in the auto industry. Half of the auto industry is owned by Pashtuns, and the transport business, half of more than half of it is with the Pashtuns. So why not they come in the airline business? If you create an airline, look at Dubai. Like Dubai prospered because of Emirates and the duty free they created, so people started coming. Then they built up the Dubai because of these tourists, and most of their economy is based on tourists. Similar is the case with Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. Now Saudi is also following the same example. So we have more beautiful places. We have better climate, better uh, temperature, better scenery, and Punjab has no tourism spots. Very few tourism spot it has. But Pakhtunkhwa is rich with tourism spots. Balochistan is rich with tourism spots. So why not provide the connectivity? Why close the airports? It makes no sense. It's illogical and stupid to have such kind of policies. And if the Punjabis don't want to do, the Pashtuns should open up their airline, just like follow the example of Air Sial. There could be Air Mardan, there could be Air Khyber, there could be Air Chitral or Swat or Air. I heard there is a K2 Air, but I don't know who owns it. There could be like a regional airline which could connect with the Middle East directly. And if you want to do that, I will show you what kind of aircrafts you need. The aircrafts you would need, because if you look at the runways, they are around 1500 to 1700 meters in length, and they are below 2000 or 2200 meters, which is ideal length for an A320. Or if it is 2600, it's 777 can also land, or A330. So these regional or domestic airlines are below 2000, mostly 1718, and some of them are 1500 because they're very old. They were constructed at the time of British, when they were very slow moving propeller aircraft. So a propeller airplane called ATR 42 can take off with maximum takeoff weight, with full people and full luggage, below 1500, around 1200 to 1500 meter runway is ATR 42. There is ATR 72 as well, but under 1500, maybe ATR 42. Then a jet can also take off in 1500 meter runway, and that jet is the baby Airbus, which is built with the Embraer of Canada. It's called A220-100. The A220 Airbus is ideal for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa because it can take off in 1500 meter runway. So it is very perfect, and it's a new plane. You can get a lot of these planes by just ordering the brand new one. You can lease one from the leasing authority. Then comes the 1700 meter aircraft. So there is an Airbus called A318, but only 80 in the world exist. So A38, A318, A319 can do in 1700 to 1900 meter runway. But still, maybe they're not that perfect. There is another perfect aircraft for such airport, because they don't have the airport services, is the new Chinese on the, aircraft in the market called Comac C909. C909 is perfect for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa because its engines are higher, so it does not need a tractor, or it can reverse. The engines can reverse, and it can reverse in the tarmac and then take off. So it does not need the airport services. So this is very perfect for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. It can take off in 1700 meters runway. So this is very good for the Turbela, for Chitral, for Swat, and um, uh, for Banu, and also for Padachinar runway is a bit small in length, 1200. If it is extended to 1700 or 1500, maybe the jets can also land there, and it can resume its international status because it was international airport. So it's unheard that the airports in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are being downgraded. Like Padachinal is an example. I know a guy who was the airport manager, and it was an international airport. So was so it was downgraded. This is really silly and stupid. Then and Padachinar was is a landlocked because there was a lot of problem recently, and if the airport was being operative, the people wouldn't have starved to death, and a lot of communication problem would have solved, and people would have. But of course, in Pakistan, who cares about Pashtuns or problems? This is now a norm in Pakistan that the Pashtuns are given the racism and discrimination thing. And this is destroying Pakistan. This has destroyed PIA definitely. So this was all of the aircrafts. Like if you have a longer length runway, 2000 to 2600, the A320, the Boeing 777 can. So in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, only Peshawar airport has this much runway. So and it is shared by the military. Like it shares the runway with the F-16s and J-17s, and it cannot operate full time. So even the one airport which is here is shared half by the Air Force, and there is, like, if you go to the airport, you are greeted by this soldier asking for your IDs and making your life miserable and terrible because it does not have an entrance and exit in the civilian area. You have to pass through the whole cantonment to reach there, and you're checked by armed army guards and with 20 checkposts. So if you are in a hurry and if you want to catch a plane, you should come like maybe 10 hours before, because you have to pass through the 20 army checkposts. So I hope you liked my video, because for this video I had to do so much research, so much data, and also find out the exact length of the runways and which aircraft can land and take off. So I hope you like the video, because you have to like it. And if you want to ask any question, or if you want to leave comments, please leave below regarding the airlines or the video. I can be gladly able to answer. And if you want to subscribe to, because you have to subscribe to the channel, because you won't be able to meet me again if you don't subscribe. Among the billions of videos, if you want to see wonderful, well researched videos about the Indus Valley civilization, the most mysterious civilization in the world, and also the Pashtuns and the Pakhtunkhwa, and the amazing history of the Indian subcontinent and the kings of Indian subcontinent who came from Afghanistan, because this Peshawar was Afghanistan right up to Delhi. This was Afghania province. So if you want to know about its history, you better subscribe and also press the bell icon to get notified, and we meet again. So hope to see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.